Hi, okay, waiting on my groceries. I do have several things that I'm going to prepare. I've got my country style ribs. I've got my beef for fajitas. And I've got my frozen meatballs, which really and truly, I wanted to do homemade meatballs. My hamburger meat's frozen and I really want to get these bagged up. I'm not a meatball person, period, whether they're frozen or fresh or either way. But they'll probably be pretty good with the teriyaki and the pineapple, so I'll just use frozen this time. And I'm going to use, I'll save my fresh hamburger meat for another recipe another day because I didn't lay it out this morning. And I have my pork chops. They're in the refrigerator. They're half frozen still because I don't need all of them. And I don't want to thaw them out because I want to freeze the ones that aren't defrosted. So I stuck them in the refrigerator. They're still frozen, but they're enough that I can separate them. So I'm going to do that. It's very, very exciting cooking these meals with you guys. And I'm very excited to share with you my freezer prep meals. These are meals that I've put in freezer bags and labeled, and when it's time, the night before, take them out, put them in the refrigerator. The next morning, they should be defrosted enough to stick in the crock pot. Several of these recipes, there's a last 15-20 minute, on the last 15 or 20 minutes of cooking, you have to add a few small things like maybe barbecue sauce or pineapples or red peppers or something like that. And that's also explained in the recipe. So if you would like these, I would be happy to share these with you. Okay, so I've got 3.5 pounds of beef fajita meat, HEB brand, and it says I have to slice it. So I'm going to slice it. Look at this big old thing of meat. My sink has been bleached, so everything's been clean. We're going to slice it for fajitas. Before I slice it, I'm going to tenderize it. I'm going to tenderize it, okay? I'm going to tenderize this meat. Get it tenderized and get it sliced. Okay, so it calls for a regular onion. I'm going to use red onion for my beef fajitas. And my fajita meat is already seasoned, but it also calls for a package of fajita seasoning. So I doubled the recipe because there's 7 of us. So I'm just going to, instead of double package of fajita seasoning, since my meat's already seasoned, I'm going to just do a single package of fajita seasoning. That's my fajita seasoning right there. We're going to put it in there with my onions and bell peppers. And we're going to put my 3.5 pounds of beef fajita meat. It smells really good. It smells really, really good. Okay. Like that. When you're doing this, you have to wash your hands 150 times because and then I've got my labels. I made labels, and I'm going to find beef fajitas. I'm going to stick the label on the bag. And the bag is ready to go in the freezer. Okay? Okay, my next recipe is red eye barbecue ribs. And this recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of country style ribs, coffee, barbecue sauce, and cornstarch. The only thing that I'm going to bag now, and this is 5 pounds of ribs. I don't need that many ribs, but I'm going to count 1 for each person. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna do 7 ribs. All right, 7 ribs, and I'm gonna put my barbecue. I'm not putting my barbecue sauce, my cornstarch, or my coffee in there. I'll have to do that the day of that I make these. But everything is in the front, on the front of the bag, my 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, add a little bit with barbecue sauce, add 1 cup of strong coffee, and then 3 cups, you mix the tablespoons with cornstarch, you mix the couple tablespoons of cornstarch with the barbecue sauce, get it mixed up until smooth. Then you add your 1 cup of coffee and your 3 cups of barbecue sauce. You stick this in the crock pot for 7 or 8 hours, or on low for 5 or 6 hours. I mean high for 5 or 6 hours. And that's it. So I'm not going to worry about my barbecue sauce, my cornstarch, or my coffee for this. Next, I'm going to do my meatballs. Sweet and sour meatballs. All right, so my meatballs right here. It goes in the bag. It calls for diced onions, so I'm going to dice my onion. And it calls for carrots and minced garlic cloves. So I'm going to get my onions chopped and my carrots coined, little rounds carrots, and then we're going to put it in the bag with meatballs. 2 cups of carrots, which means 1 cup of carrots, which means I'm doubling it, so I'm going to do 2 cups of carrots. And it says coined, so like that. Rounds. So I've got 2 cups of coined carrots. They're going to go in the bag with the meatballs. And I have 1 chopped onion. Going to also go in the bag. Okay. So to this mixture, when it's ready to cook, I'm going to add my soy sauce, my pineapple juice mixture with some water and cornstarch. I'm not going to add the water or cornstarch right now. Also with my bag of drained pineapple chunks. And it gets added to this right here. So I'm going to have to store these together in a bag in the freezer. Okay, the next recipe I'm going to do is pesto tomato chicken. Okay, and you're going to need 3 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast, 1 can of diced tomatoes. I have petite diced tomatoes. And you're going to need 4 ounces of pesto. I'm probably going to use a little bit more than 4 ounces. And you're going to need, you're going to put all that in the freezer bag, and you're going to cook it in the crock pot 7 or 8 hours on low, 4 to 5 hours on high. So this whole jar is 10 ounces. I'm not going to use quite the whole jar because I only need 4 ounces. So I'm going to use almost the whole jar. I mean,
1 tablespoon is
almost half the jar I'm in.
0.5 ounces.
So that's a little less than half the jar. Okay.
You need 8 tablespoons.
I'm not worried about having too much pesto. I mean, not too much, but barely too much. And then add your chicken and your diced tomatoes drained. Add your chicken breast. I did not double this recipe because this feeds 6 to 8 people. And another meal ready to go in the freezer. So my next menu item is going to be Philly chicken sandwiches. And it calls for 1 can of artichoke hearts in juice, about 2 pounds or 2.5 pounds of chicken breast, and an onion chopped, and a green bell pepper. I do not have a green bell pepper, so I will get that at the store before Tuesday because I'm making this Tuesday. But we've had this before and we loved it, so I'm going to add a jalapeno, chopped jalapeno to it to make it have a little bit of a heat to it. I'm seeding my jalapeno so it's not very spicy. I'm going to add my chopped jalapeno to it. And all I have to get for Tuesday is a chopped bell pepper for it. And that's another meal. You put this in the crock pot, you shred it, and you put on a hoagie roll with provolone cheese, and you broil it in the oven. The item is teriyaki pork chops with red pepper and pineapple. And it calls for boneless pork chops, and I made a mistake, and my pork chops have small bones in all of them, just very small. So guess what? We're having bone-in pork chops. So I'm going to add 27 ounces of teriyaki glaze or sauce. And then I'm going to add a sliced red onion to this. I had my teriyaki sauce, my pork chops, and my red onion, okay, in the bag. And then I'm going to, when it's ready to put in the crock pot, Then you have to add your red peppers and your pineapples. Is it 30 minutes before it's done?
During the last 15 to 20.
During the last 15 or 20 minutes, you add your pineapple tidbits and your red pepper, bell pepper.
5 to 6 hours low.
Okay, so we have chicken Philly sandwiches, teriyaki chops with red pepper and pineapple, pesto tomato chicken, red eye barbecue ribs. These are my leftover ribs. Crock pot beef fajitas, and in this bag here we have our sweet and sour meatballs with our other ingredients that we had to have with it, so we bagged it all together. And I'm going to do one more recipe. It's chicken legs, some kind of chicken legs. So I want to wish you good luck and happy cooking on these recipes. As I cook them each day, I will try to post about them, and as I get started in the morning, I will video so you can see how to do it. And in the evening, we will look at the finished product, and you can see how well it serves up. Some of these I've never tried before, so if you want to wait till I try them and see if they're good before you go out and invest and buy all these ingredients, you can wait till I try them. I'll be the guinea pig. Happy cooking!